What's going on, everybody? Today, Alex and I are going over our top three things that we're currently doing right now to stay on track, to stay fit, to stay healthy. Alex, what's going on, my man? Let me know. Let me know what you're doing right now in real
Yeah, dude.
world time. Three
So
things, or let's just start. Let's go back and forth. Let's go one and one.
we'll go back and forth. So like I a lot of these things too. I think all these things I'm going to say. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say yet.
Me neither.
All of them, but they are things that I've done for a while. Right. I'm a huge. I'll say number one is that I try to always make sure that I have quality options in the fridge. Right. I am nowhere near perfect with my food and nutrition throughout the week. I probably live in that like 70% quality range, right? 30% comes from like maybe less quality stuff. I like, to have candy here and there, like we'll have pizza here and there, like go out to eat, different stuff like that. 70%, the reason I'm able to do that is I like to mix in a smoothie every day. So I have frozen fruit in my freezer. We'll freeze bananas. I have Greek yogurt in there that I'll put in there, chia seeds, protein powder, stuff like that. That's going to make a quality meal. I always have eggs. I always have cheese, different stuff like that. I always have frozen veggies in the freezer. And I try to also just keep a frozen thing of grilled chicken in the like a Tyson grilled chicken
Mm-hmm.
thing in the freezer if I'm in a pinch. So like I do keep like a lot of that kind of stuff around, and it helps me just with I'm always like I always have quality options I can go to if I need to throughout the week. And then I always try to make sure that like chicken is in the fridge or some sort of meat that can kind of give me that base. So that's kind of a big thing. I've always done that though for a while, and we've probably preached that on this podcast that it's like keep things around. Like you're not always gonna like in plan and prepare. Like it's like if you need to like take Sunday for a few hours and like prep meals for the week, whatever you got to do, I think that having quality things around just makes it so much easier to stay on track.
Yeah, dude, that's such a golden nugget too, is like keeping protein around, specifically like frozen, grilled, ready to go. So all you have to do is heat it up. Another one that I have my clients do too is just whether you have a protein powder or ready to go shakes, like things that are protein that you can grab in a pinch. Things come up, you didn't go grocery shop, like at least you always have those things, so that those are kind of like your, just in your back pocket when you have to hit the eject button, or you're like, oh shit, I'm in a rush, and like you didn't plan and you don't want
Yeah.
to completely derail. Like those are awesome, man. I would say for me, along those lines, but I kind of just am condensing that, is I track and log my food. That's the one thing that I do to stay on track for me. I know that's not for everybody, but for me, it helps me. I've tried everything. Like I've tried, all the diets underneath the sun. I've tried so many different variations of them. I've tried not tracking. I've tried tracking. I've tried, all of it. And so, um, for me, what I found to be the most sustainable and to be the most successful, and then also stay as fit as I possibly can and healthy year round, is tracking my food. And what that does for me is it allows me the freedom to have the pizza, to have the date nights out, to have the foods that I still love and enjoy, and I can still not derail, and I can have them every day. Like that's the thing too, is like I found that people who really struggle is like they're saving up like their one day on Saturday or like their one day on Sunday to like just go crazy. And instead of a cheat meal, they have a full cheat day or a cheat weekend and they completely derail. Where I was like, I want to have a little bit of that stuff. I want to have some ice cream today. Cool. I can allot it within my total caloric budget and I can make it work. Man, you know what? I'm kind of feeling like some pizza tonight. Let's have some pizza tonight. So it allows me so much more freedom. And for me, that's been sustainable. That's been like, man, I don't have to like put these foods on a pedestal, or like I can't have them until a certain day until I've been super consistent. And that's where I feel that's where I personally faltered and fell, was like when I did that approach for me versus like, okay, well, what do I have to sacrifice a little bit to be able to have those things every single day instead of just putting them on one day or on the weekend? Well, I got to be aware of my awareness if I want to sustain a certain health and fitness and body and physique and feel a certain way. Like there's no way around it, right? You gotta track, you gotta have some awareness around that, if that's the standard that you set for yourself. If it's not, then don't worry about it. But for me, that's what's worked really, really well, is like, dude, I track and log my food. Am I perfect with it? No. Some days, am I only going to track like one or two things? Yeah, at least I put some points up on the board, right? But like, I'm not like super overly perfect with it, but it helps me keep the guardrails on, and it's given me a ton of flexibility, and it's been sustainable for me. So that's
No,
my one, I would say,
that's
that kind
good.
of encompasses everything.
Oh, that's really, really good. Yeah, I think that's a good way, and it just comes down to the person,
Yeah.
right? But my number two is I get my movement and workouts in before I really do anything. So
Hmm.
that's like the first thing on my list is I generally, especially with how hot it's getting here in Arizona, it's I have to get a walk in the
Yeah.
morning generally, and so I'll get like a 30-45 minute walk in, and then I'll get a workout in the morning. It helps me get all of that stuff out of the way first thing. It's done. I've gotten my movement in for the day, and then I can just, go on with my day knowing I hit those things and I got those. So that's kind of a thing that can help a lot of people. It's like, get up, like find it, like when do you have to be at work? When do you have to like be wherever you need to be in the morning? Like maybe get up a little bit earlier and get your movement or your exercise or whatever it is in first thing in the morning. And then it's a lot easier to be consistent with that week or day after day, week after week. So like I used to be an after work person. Obviously now my schedule wouldn't even allow that really. And so it's more or less like that. I was always a lot more tired at that time. So getting that morning workout in, getting that morning movement in helps me get it in when I'm like, I had that energy. It also sets me up for the day to be successful.
Dude, I'm right there with you. You hit it on the head, man. And I used to be afternoon or night workout person. Then I transitioned to like lunchtime when I had an hour gap in there between like, at the gym. And then now it's just like, dude, I get it before I even start my day so that I'm not even thinking about it. It's the first thing that I do. Like you said, I'll get my steps intermittently throughout the day. I don't necessarily like have a non-negotiable for walking in the morning, but my strength training, my workout is a non-negotiable. That's first thing in the morning before I do anything. That just sets the tone for my day. And trust me, I'm crawling in there like, waking up sleepy eyed, like, but I'm in there before I do anything. And that's the reason I like doing it early. There's a lot of different reasons, but the main reasons is so that it's not hanging over my head and that I'm not leaving it up to other people to interrupt my schedule to make it so that I can't work out in the afternoon, right? I think a lot of times, when other people are up, and society's hitting you up and trying to take your attention and all this stuff, it's like it's going to be very difficult to try to get that in, even if you're super disciplined. But I think just riding the endorphin high, the energy high, the accomplishment after getting your workout done first thing in the morning, it's like everything else. I don't know if this is like this for you, but like everything else throughout the day is kind of just like smooth sailing. It's like, dude, I've done physically the most demanding thing in the first part of my day, the second I got up. And now everything else is kind of just like, dude, this is a breeze. Everything else is just like, all right, cool.
Yeah. No, that's good. So you fall in line with that. And
Hmm.
then the last one kind of falls in line some like similarly to what you said, a portion of it at your first one, which is that I include the things I want to eat. Like it's like I don't restrict. I used to restrict and it just led to like binging. It led to me going crazy on those things. And
Yep.
that's not to say that I don't sometimes do that. Like I with candy,
I
sometimes
do
I go
too. Yeah.
crazy, but it helps so much more when you just include it in. Like it
Hmm.
just eat the thing you want to eat, mix in the pizza and the pasta and whatever, you like to do. Sometimes you can even make a little bit more of an alternative version of it. Like you can make pizza at home and that can help, maybe make it a little bit more quality for you. You can do, your own like spin on something that can make it so that you're getting that in, but you're also maybe like having a more healthy version of it, whatever it is. Like, but just make sure that whenever you go through your plan that you are including those foods. I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I would say. Just the end. That's my last one.
Yeah, I think my last one would be some along the lines of just mindset, just making sure that I'm in the right state of mind. I know we're both big on this, but like making sure I take the time out of my day to remind myself to be grateful, to understand that we get to do this. Like that's big for me. That's a staple, and I know it is for you too. It's so hard to condense these all down into three things, right? But like, yeah, I think those are my big three. Is like for me, creating awareness and tracking around my food. The second one was getting the movement in and getting our workouts. And I intermittently do my steps throughout the day. So it's not like I have to complete all my steps first thing in the morning, but my workout for sure, that's my non-negotiable. And then the third one is just being instantly, as soon as I get up first thing in the morning, is just being grateful. If I put myself in that state of mind, it alleviates the stresses and worries and things that the anxiety, the things that we worry about through on our day to day that at the end of the day aren't important. And then it puts me in the right state of mind. And I found that I go about my day with much more ease, with much more confidence, consistency, less stress, less worry. The second I am able to ground myself in that perspective.
I like it, dude. And yeah, just as far as mine go. So the first one is just like planning and prepping, really like having quality foods around in the freezer and the fridge that I can go to if I need to. Getting that movement and exercise in first thing in the morning for me, and then finishing off just including all the food that I want to eat and not restricting helps a lot. I love the gratitude one that you said, and that's a huge thing for me too. I do that first thing in the morning on my walk. I include that, and so hopefully this is helpful. Let us know out of those 6 that we had, which one do you vibe with the most? Which one are you going to use in your plan going forward, or try out? Like, give these a try, because these things are huge. Where I've seen like huge changes in people because they take one of these into consideration, and it's like, oh wow, like I've been an afternoon person and I always miss workouts, and now getting it in first thing in the morning, now I've been consistent, right? Like, so a lot of these things are around consistency. How can we be more consistent with our nutrition, with our exercise? And so hope you guys enjoy this one. Thank you again for always watching and listening every single week. We appreciate you. And we hope you guys have a great rest of the week. We'll be talking to you soon.